Right, let's get into it. Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Rio if you did not know, but now that you do know, please go down there, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. But yeah guys, today's video, as you've most probably seen by the title and the thumbnail, is the time I almost got kidnapped. It is a story time, so sit down, get some sweets, get yourself a lemon and honey
no.
drink juice thing like I have done here, and sit back and relax with me because this one is going to be a good one. Right, so I'm going to start off by telling you this day was about 7 or 8 years ago. I was about 13, 14, I'm 20 now, so do the maths, I don't know if I got that maths right. But I used to always go out with my best mate at the time, we're going to call him John for the sake of this video because we don't speak anymore. And I don't know if he'd want me to say his name in this video, so we're just going to call him John. So me and John, it was just a normal day. We was out, we lived in kind of a rough area. We did live in a rough area, like the area we grew up in, like where I moved to from Liverpool, Holbeck. It's one of the first ever legal red light districts. So yeah, that'll all come into connection later on in the video. But as I was saying, me and Ben, it was a normal day. We was out, we was doing God knows what, and we decided, shall we go to town? And it was getting on a bit at this time, like it was late on in the day. So it was about 6 or 7 o'clock and we was like, shall we go to town? So us 13, 14-year-olds just made our merry way to town, not knowing the danger that we was to face at that time. So we got to town, and I remember we went into Morrison's in town, and we was just literally messing about, and all the staff was looking at us, and that we was just being annoying teenagers. And we bought some crisps, and then as we was coming out to Morrison's, we walked out into the shopping centre, where all the other shops are, and we was just running from each other, pretending that we was getting chased by some guy. We literally manifested what was to come, basically. We was defending ourselves, we was just messing about. Now to say it, it's silly because I wouldn't walk around a supermarket and pretend to fight with my mate, you know what I mean? Because I'm grown up now, but back then that's what we was doing. We was fighting, running away, pretending we was running from someone. So now, after deciding to leave the shopping centre, we was running down the canal, still playing the same game, fighting each other, running away, pretending someone's chasing us, you know, being 13, 14-year-old kids, what they would do. Now to think back on it is I just wouldn't do that, but we were still playing a game. And now that we decided to leave town, it was getting a bit later on in the day, it was dark at this point. It wasn't jet black, but it was dark, and we was walking down the canal, and as you can imagine, on the canal there's bushes around you, it's a dark area, and we were starting to get from town into our estate, the beginning of where we're from, Holbeck. And in Holbeck, I was explaining earlier on in the video, it is as I said, it's the first ever legal red light district, so there's not nice people driving about at that time, or people walking about. There's been so many incidents of people getting mugged, people getting battered, and just stuff like that, just violence basically. So for 13-year-old kids to be walking about at that time, it wasn't really sensible for us to be walking down alleyways. And I forgot to mention, guys, that on the way home we could take the main road, or we could take the shortcut by the canal and that. Obviously we wanted to go home faster, and we took the shortcut. So walking down one particular alleyway further into all the other alleyways, we was walking down the alleyway. I was on the right, Ben was on the left. I remember it so clearly, but I can't remember what he specifically said. He shouted "Oi!" And we was wary to walk towards, but we carried on walking slowly, bearing in mind he was at the bottom of the alleyway. We didn't know what was up at this point. So then he just started to walk towards us, and then we turned. Obviously, as he walked towards us, we thought, oh shit, what the fuck does this guy want? Ah! Do you know what I mean? I can't laugh about it now and make a bit of a joke about it, because it was 7 or 8 years ago, and I can just take it with a pinch of salt. I just know to be safer now. But yeah, as he started to walk towards us, we turned around and we ran, and he shouted, "Yeah, I thought you'd run, I'm gonna kill you." So we're running back through this alleyway, like literally pelting it for our lives. Like, what does this man want? And as we was running, we got out the alleyway, and you could either follow the path down or run into a big field of like high field land, fucking, I don't know what even it's called, like grass, high grass or something like that. And my mate, he was a bit chubbier than me at the time, and he was getting out the breath. He's like, Rio, stop. And he was like, Rio, let's go in here. So he ran through the grass, and I just followed him. I followed him straight down through the grass, and we was just running. He was like, Rio, stop, Rio, stop. And obviously I would stop for me, but at that time it was just like my legs weren't stopping me, like the adrenaline. And he slowed down, and he said the guy ran past him because he stopped in the grass. I'm not telling this story great because I'm trying to remember it as I'm going along, but as we was running through the grass, my mate, he laid down because he was getting a bit out of breath, and the guy who was chasing after us caught up to us at this point, which I had no idea. But as I said, I was just running and running and running. The adrenaline was pumping and I was running. And then we carried on running, and my mate got back up, ran behind the guy. So we was on there, and I was running and running and running like for my life. And literally, like afterwards, my mate told me that the guy was like literally like so close to me, but I didn't know because I was running. And in this time, the guy must have just went to something, but I was banging on a taxi saying, help, someone's trying to get me, and no help whatsoever. So I just carried on running. So at this point, my mate got up out the grass, ran behind the guy, and as he was running, he ran, and there's the pub on the right hand corner, and then there's like another like dead end basically next to it, and it was just pitch black. So he ran down it thinking it was another road, and he had to stop there, and I just carried on running until I got seen somewhere that I knew familiar, which was the bottom of Holbeck Park. So I'm going to tell you just like the little bit that happened with my mate when he ran into that dead end. So he ran into the dead end and realised, shit, it's a dead end. So he ducked down because the guy was running past. And as he seemed like he couldn't get me anymore because I ran off basically, my mate was like, what do we do? He's there. So he ducked behind a bin. The guy came into the alleyway a bit, and I don't know, my mate said he didn't know what he was doing because obviously it was pitch black at that point when he came into the dead end, and he had to just run. And so yeah, that happened with my mate, and he just managed to run off and just go basically. So I was on Holbeck Park, and then at this point I was debating, like, should I call the police? Like, what do I do? Where's Ben? Do you know what I mean? I was panicking. I was like, I've just left him. Is the guy with him? Do you know what I mean? So I ran home, as I was running home, I was calling the police, and I told him. He's like, yeah, he's fine. Is he blah blah blah? Is his name this? And I was like, yeah, John. And then he said, yeah, he's on the other line with me, officer. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna get into there's my colleague. I'll go and out to him now or something. So he was safe. I ran home and was like, no, wait, what happened? Wait, that was it. So on the phone, so he said, yeah, there's a colleague with him, someone's out now. So I ran home, got my brother. I was like, Mum, the police come. She was like, what for? She thought I did something wrong. But no, I never did anything wrong. After I explained to her, then me and my other brother was in the other room. We went out because obviously we didn't know if the police was with Ben at this point. So we went back out to the area to try and look for him. And that's when we seen the police car come up the street. They spoke to us, and we seen my mate Ben in the front seat, which I was so thankful for that, because obviously try stick together when you're in that sort of situation, because each other is all you're going to have in that situation, so don't run away from each other. But obviously weigh your options up, be safe, don't walk about in stupid areas at them sorts of times, because it is scary. It was frightening, especially in the area that I grew up. But even anywhere in the world, if something like that happened to you, you would be scared, especially at 13 or 14. So just take more safety precautions when going out, guys, because yeah, we all need to be safe. And if you've ever had an experience with this, comment it down below. You don't have to, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was my experience where I almost got kidnapped, and who knows if that guy did anything to me, where I'd be now. But yeah, I can take it with a pinch of salt, like I said, because it did happen so long ago, which now I do always take more safety precautions. I do always look behind me. If I've got earphones in, I take one out. Oh, I'm spilling it. If I have earphones in, I take one out, and I do make sure I don't walk around secluded areas on a night on my own, obviously. And anyway, we're in lockdown, we've got nowhere to go unless we're going on our daily walk. But yeah, guys, be careful. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more story times, please let me know. I will get better at telling them. Obviously, I'm trying to remember the story as I'm going along, and it was just a bit hard because I wanted to seem genuine, but it was also 7 or 8 years ago. So yeah, guys, if you did enjoy this, please smash a huge thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.